What's going on? Mgtow Righteousness coming at you with another video. Um, if you don't know what's been going on lately, there's this guy who who sucker punched this 12-year-old African American female. She's like 12 years old with her and her friends. Now, in the video, we don't know exactly what had happened, what started with what, who started what, but it looks like, they're at the mall or whatever, and for some reason these females are antagonizing this guy. And it looks like this guy's with his wife and his child. Nobody really knows, what's going on with the situation. But pretty much he gets assaulted, she pushes him, and he pushes her back. And when she comes back for the third time trying to, put her dukes up, he punches the shit out of her. And like not just punches the shit out of her, he like Falcon punched her ass like Super Smash Brothers, like Falcon punch, like he punched the shit out of her, right? And he went to jail, and he got bailed out or whatever, by some guys. Now, I'm going to say this: it's wrong on both of their parts, all right, and it's wrong for the people who are supporting this guy. And it's also wrong for the female and for the people who are supporting her. They're both wrong in this situation. Point blank, period. He's wrong because he put his hands on a 12-year-old. She's wrong for antagonizing a grown ass man and not knowing her place. Why are you antagonizing this guy? What first of all, what business do you have even? Why are you even there? Like, why are you even bothering him? What could have? I can't think of enough analogies, situations for these girls to be messing with this guy. Like, if you look at how he's dressed, he looks like a conservative white guy. You know, and these look like some, girls who did like some hip girls, some young girls. What could it have been that would have made these two become getting into our altercation? Like, what I'm trying to figure out, like, how did this start? Because 9 times out of 10, females run their mouth, and 9 times out of 10, they started something with this guy. Now, I'm gonna say this: it is wrong to condone this type of behavior on both sides of the party. It is wrong to support both of these behaviors on both sides of the party. It looks bad for African American people because when African American men side with this white guy, it opens up a door for other Caucasian men to they feel or they know or they think they could get away with openly disrespecting, black women, African American women of color from any descent, any race, any creed, right? Let's open up a can of worms. It would be different if African American men were more quiet about the situation, um, and more on the side of the women, African American women who are cursing this guy out because it's wrong. Period. You know. However, though, when society looks at the effect more than the cause, that's when society has failed. Because in a situation like this, I probably would have done the same thing if I was with my wife and my child, no matter what was said. I'm protecting my woman. You know what I'm saying? I gotta protect her. You know. So it's a a serious situation. And now the people who are defending the African American men, and I don't want to get, like I said before, I don't want to get into race, but the reason why I have to bring race up in the situation is because, if I was to do this to a white female with my black, say I had an African American wife and an African American child, and I defended, no, my, say I got surrounded by a group of, swamp rats, white trash women and whatever. And these females are cursing me out, they're acting like black Negroes, whatever. And I decked one of these bitches. I'm going to jail, and I'm not even getting hey, let's bail him out. Let's get him. I'll buy you a beer. I'll take you out to eat. I'll take you to lunch, whatever. I'm not. I will never get that. And I guarantee you, I would not get out of jail in a couple of hours. That guy was in jail in this holding cell for like 4 or 5 hours, 3 hours, and he left. That would not have happened to me. Okay, just off the color of my skin, I would have been in jail till probably Tuesday, waiting to see a fucking judge. Got my sentence, my community service, whatever, and then I would have got the fuck up out of there. But the point is that it's wrong for African American men just because of how you feel about African American females to do this, because this really opens up a door for Caucasian men and other men of any hatred to do anything they feel like. Now again, if I was in Rome, if I was in Iran, if I was in Saudi Arabia, if I was in Singapore, if I was in Hawaii, and I did this, nationalism plays a big role. You think the white man isn't a nationalist? They're the biggest nationalists there are. Okay, that's why they control the country they do. That's why African American men have to be more on their own side. Yes, we know they're wrong. Yes, we know we could clearly see that these females are wrong. But that don't mean shit. You keep that shit behind closed doors. You know, a perfect example. Say we in Africa, right? Or say I love Sparta. That's how I look at the black race, the Spartans, because the Moors were black and the Moors taught the Spartans everything they know. And the Moors were dark as shit. The Moors were as black as a crayon. People don't really want to believe it. People don't understand it, but it's the truth. If I was say I'm the chieftain of the girls' tribe, right? And the guy is from Athens and I'm from Sparta, right? And I see the situation. Yes, we are going to kill that guy, the guy from Athens, the tall guy. We're going to kill him, yes. But not before I put this female in her place. Because you know why? She has risked war because she does not know how to shut her mouth and learn to control her emotions. Now, innocent men, my soldiers, have to get ready for war because of this bitch. So now we're gonna teach her a lesson. You're gonna get lashes. You, your mother, and your family, because you're gonna be slaves to the king's family. Whatever you got to do to reclaim your honor in the Spartan state, because disrespected Spartan. You didn't represent us the right way. You didn't, like, perfect example. She did not represent African Americans the right way. And African American females, this is the behavior they push. They push this type of behavior. That does not represent all African Americans, period. So yes, we're going to kill this guy. We're going to go to war with this guy. Yeah. And his tribe. We're going to annihilate them. But not before we teach you a lesson so this doesn't happen again. Cuz we know when we go to war, or whatever the case may be, we know these guys. Now we know for a fact we're losing men because this female couldn't keep her mouth shut. This female couldn't respect the grown ass man for whatever the case. She couldn't turn the blind side. She couldn't just fuck it, leave her alone. Okay, because this is a situation that is bigger than what it really looks like. Now we know for a fact that he was wrong for hitting her. We know that. We can clearly see that. She's 12 years old. But is she wrong too? Yes, she's wrong. But it's wrong when you back up this type of behavior, because if I'm in a situation like this and I have to defend myself, you're telling me you're not going to care if I'm right or wrong? You're not going to care if I'm right or wrong because what? Because they're female? This is a situation. These are, like my grandmother used to say, what goes on in this house stays in this house. What goes on in these behind these doors stay in these doors. They used to call each other nigger, playing dominoes, drinking, and having parties and stuff like that. They'd be like, "Yeah, my nigga, what's up, my nigga?" But they never used to call each other nigga outside in front of the white guys and white people, so they could disrespect and look down on the race. Like, oh, these are some niggas. Nah, they call each other niggas behind closed doors, but they don't do that outside. They don't do that type of shit outside in the real world so people could look down on them and call them, oh, if he's calling him a nigga, I should call him a nigga too. Nah. So it's the same situation. It's the same fucking situation, Mgtow brothers. All I don't, and I don't want to put race into this, but I will because, it's stupid. They made, they really made the African American race look bad, and it opens up a door for Caucasian men, Spanish, any type of men to do anything to anybody, really. And the thing that's crazy is, look at this: African American women have way more power than African American men in this country, right? African American women are almost up there with Caucasian women in this country, right? And this is a Caucasian male. Put her on her ass, underage, minor. And this dude is out in like 3 hours, 4 hours, with a slap on the wrist. Now, if I got attacked by a bunch of redneck swamp rats, redneck, you know, white trash type of females, and I was with my family, and I punch one of these girls in their face because they acting ratchet, they acting hood. You think people are gonna be calling me on Facebook saying, "Yo, man, I'll bail you out," because you know what? They was wrong. You think people are gonna be like, "Yo, man, I'm gonna take you out to dinner, take you out to lunch, I'm gonna pay your"? You think that's gonna happen? No, because white people are nationalists. For some reason, certain African Americans don't understand that. They don't fucking get that nationalism. If I went over to Greece or Rome or Iran or Spain or Brazil, and just the fact that I'm American or Korean, and I did some shit in a bar to a prostitute or to some girl, and there's a bunch of Koreans or a bunch of people over there, and I was in the wrong or whatever, even if she was in the, no matter who was in the wrong or right, you think they don't come to my aid? They ain't coming to my fucking aid. They gonna cut my head off and put it on a swivel. Because nationalism is more important than who's right or wrong. Even though being who's right and wrong in America should really count for something, because this is the land, home of the brave, home of the free, land of the brave, and all that shit. So being right and wrong really does matter in this country. But this situation, it's more of, we should get this guy, what he deserves, what's coming to him, and behind closed doors, you know, punish this fucking female. You know, get this female what she deserves. Her family, whatever they need, because clearly they cannot teach these females how to be females. Think before you act. You know, first of all, what reason this guy's a grown ass 6'5", he looks like a conservative Caucasian type of man. I see a lot of these type of guys. They don't really do too. Some of these guys is low key racist, but for the most part, these guys are cool. If you're cool with them, what the fuck? Why would these females be bothering this guy? I can't. I'm trying to figure out now. Like, what is it that? What? Why would they even be trying to fuck with this guy? What's the point of even messing with this? Like, it's two. It's like two different. It's like two different animals, and they have completely different food chains. But for some reason, they're fucking with each other in this particular situation. That's how I look at it. Like, these girls should be in the hood somewhere, and this guy should be in a farm somewhere. Like, how the hell are they coming to? How are they colliding? You know, it's like a lion trying to fight a shark. Like, what the fuck? How did this happen? But this is what you got to understand. You know, because when black people want this type of treatment, you know, it's giving other people the opportunity to be like, fuck black people. Y'all don't respect yourselves. Why the fuck should we respect y'all? And I see, African American guys, I would have done the same thing. Yeah, well, keep that shit to yourself. If you ain't got nothing nice to say, keep it to yourself. What this guy did was wrong, and what these girls did was wrong. They made African American people as a whole look bad, because that lets people know they don't know how to control their emotions, control their mouths, and they have no respect for their elders. They have no respect for people that are older than them. What the fuck? Why do they have a reason to be even fucking with this guy? Like I said before, it's like I got to take it back to the Spartan state, because African Americans need to look at themselves as Spartans. And if you do the research of Sparta, Sparta comes from, the originators of Sparta were black. As black as the night sky. They were not white like King Leonidas and the Brave 300. That hundreds and almost thousands of years later. What happened was the Black Moors, which were really Hebrew, they were the ones who were descendant of warriors, and they went to Greece and they showed the people of at the certain time they were the ones who originated the Spartan state with the childbirth. If he's not a certain size, throw him to the side. Trained by all those ancient ways were from the Black Moors. And this is why you have to understand your history as an African American beyond African American history. You have to, if I went over the Kulu tribe, if I did this shit over in the Kulu tribe over in West Africa, they would cut my head off whether I'm right or wrong. Play soccer with it around the fucking fire. Because it's bigger than that. It's nationalism in this situation. You get what I'm saying? It's a nationalism state. These men defending this guy are mostly white and black guys that hate African American women because their mom treated them like shit, or they done a lot. They were good guys that got burnt over, by whatever the system is, and as Mgtow, as we say, the Matrix and on the plantation. So it's understandable for these guys to be like, fuck these females. But this is a situation where you do not say that. This is a situation where you keep your mouth shut and you just let it rock. Or you defend the females like, you can't do this. And behind closed doors, you correct her like, listen, bitch. You like they would do in Sparta. You protect the Spartan state first. And you made us look fucking bad. Okay? You made us look fucking really bad. So guess what? We got to govern your ass. And your family, your parents, they got to be governed too because they don't know how to raise you up. So now, because you bring the Spartan state, which is the African Americans, you bring us dishonor. So now we have to teach you and take away your pride and your honor so you can reclaim your honor. There has to be an honor code within African Americans, which we do not have. You know what our honor code is? Who's got the biggest dick? Who's got the flyest Jordans? Who's got the flyest whip? Who's bagging all the bitches? Who's got all the coke bags and the money bags and all that dumb shit that don't matter? All that shit that does not fucking matter. There's no honor code when it comes to African Americans. There used to be. There's more honor code in tribes over in Africa than there is now. There's more honor code in fucking comic books that I read about fucking the predators versus the. It's a shame. It's so shit. I read about certain fan fiction and anime and shit. Some of these anime shows have more honor and respect for one another than African Americans have for their own fucking race. It's a fucking shame. African Americans need to look at it as if you are in Sparta, if you were an ancient warrior, if you were in the Zulu tribe. Because white people do it. They never tell you about it, but they do it. Like I said before, if I was to do this to a bunch of swamp rats, swamp mice, redneck, ratchet ass, white trash, do you think white people will come into my aid? You think a white guy gonna be like, let me bail this guy out? Nah, they're not doing that. They know they don't like their fucking people, some of them people, but they're not gonna put me over